Guys, today I want to go over a math equation. So I recently had somebody hit me up in the DMs on the Blooper Instagram, and they were saying that they were hit with some math problems, equations on a aptitude test for getting into an apprenticeship. Basically, you got to take an aptitude test, you got to be able to pass the test, and then you can move on to an interview process. And he sent me two equations. I'm going to go over the first one right now. He just wasn't sure how to do it. And it makes sense. If you haven't been in high school for a while or you just weren't good at math, and then you got to do these math problems, they're simple. I mean, they're algebra level, pre-algebra stuff. But if you're like me, you just weren't good at math, then it's kind of hard to do it. So I want to kind of briefly explain and then show the math problem that he had. So if you run into this issue, then you'll also know how to deal with it. Getting into the trades, it's not like you're using math like calculus all the time, but it's a pretty good level to know basic level algebra. That way you can solve for x if you have to, which is kind of the whole thing about just like problem solving. That's a good ability, good skill to have in the trades, especially. Getting into the lineman trade, especially, you got to have basic level of math, because inside the apprenticeship you have quizzes and tests and things like that, and you got to figure out how to do math with circuitry and Ohm's law, the power law. There's a lot of varieties. They're not very hard, but you just have to kind of have the ability to figure out simple algebra equations. Probably for other trades as well. I'm not really familiar with other trades. I'm learning that, so but I could imagine in the pipe trades, as a pipe fitter, or as a millwright in the iron workers trade, all these different trades, I'm sure you got to use math in some way, shape, or form. Probably basic level of algebra. So just brush up on those skills and it'll probably help you in the future. So, but we're going to dive into this math problem, and then I'll kind of explain and show to you exactly what it is and how to do the problem. So if you run into it, you'll know how to do it. Okay, so this is the math problem that he sent me. So you may be kind of wondering, what the heck is this? So I'll kind of try to break it down for you. You don't necessarily need to know the whole mathematic terms and everything behind this equation, but I'll kind of give it to you briefly just so maybe it can give you an understanding. So when you have these bars right here, see these two bars, it means it's going to be, you need to find the absolute value of, which would be x, which is right here. So we're trying to eliminate all the numbers and put x by itself. So we have 4x plus 8 is greater than 12. So in very basic, simple algebraic ways of doing math, you just figure out, okay, we'll start this equation out really quick. So you have 4x plus 8 is greater than 12. So where do we go? So the absolute value is basically the number on a timeline away from 0. So we're trying to get x by itself, and then we'll figure out, okay, x is less than this and x is greater than this on a timeline. So I'll just draw a picture here really quick also. So we'll have a timeline, or just a line in general, and we'll have 0. Well, x is going to be this far away from 0, or x is going to be this far away from 0 on a timeline. So that's very basic. You don't really need to know much more than that. So we'll break this down a little bit. So when you have this equation, where do you start? Well, we'll go with 4x plus 8 is greater than 12 and less than negative 12. Because on timeline, it's from 0, where is x in relation to on a number line from 0 to infinity. So now that we have this equation, we just literally just start doing basic algebra. So we'll break this down. First things we can do, we can subtract 8 from both sides of the equation. So right here we have a positive, so we subtract 8 from positive 12 and negative 12, which is going to give you negative 12 minus 8. So if you have a negative number and you got to subtract a positive number, that basically just means negative 12 plus negative 8, essentially. So negative 12 minus 8 would be what? Be 20. So we got negative 20 is greater than 4x, which is greater than 12 minus 8 is what? 4. Okay, so we have that so far. So we have negative 20 is greater than 4x, which is also greater than 4. So now we just do easy algebra once again. We just got to get x by itself. So we'll do divide 4 by both sides of the equation. Negative 20 divided by a positive is still going to be a negative number. So 4 goes into 20 how many times? 5 times. So that's going to equal 5. Is greater than x. Also, 4 divided by 4 is what? 1. So we're going to have x is also greater than 1. So these are your answers. Negative 5 is greater than x, and x is greater than 1. So what does that look like on a number line? I'll show that to you. So we have a number line, and we have negative 5, and we have 0, and we'll have 1. So x is less than negative 5. So x is anywhere below negative 5. And x is also anything greater than positive 1. So x to infinity and x to negative infinity. So the absolute value of x is negative 5 and below, and positive 1 and above. And that is your answer for that. So, I mean, you might be wondering, like, do I even really need math for the trades? And just to reiterate, you need basic level of mathematics. So pre-algebra, algebra, which is, it's super easy. So I'll just go over this little problem too with you guys. I mean, this is kind of the same exact thing. Find the absolute value of x. And we have the 2 bars right here. So all we got to do is just get x by itself, right? And then we'll be able to do it. So maybe pause the video and then you can just solve this really quick, but I'll do it right now for you. So we have x minus 2 is less than 5, and it's also greater than negative 5. So how do you solve this problem? Well, you just work both sides of the equation. So we eliminate x by doing what? Adding 2 to both sides, which equals, well, negative 5 plus a positive is going to be negative 5 plus 2, which is going to be negative 3, is less than x. Well, there's your first answer. And then you're going to have 5 plus 2 is what? 5 plus 2 is 7. So we're going to have x is less than 7. There's your answer. It's very simple. And then if you really want to see it on a timeline, you can just draw it out timeline, but there's no real reason for that unless you just want to see it on a timeline, or on a number line, I should say. But I mean, there's simple, easy math questions. So I mean, if you didn't have the bars or the greater than or equal to, let's just say you had x minus 2 equals 5. What does x equal? Well, but you just get x by itself. So you would just add 2, and x would equal 5 plus 2, which is 7. X equals 7. So that's very basic algebra math right there. I mean, that's almost as simple as it gets. From there, it can get a little bit more difficult, but if you're able just to get x by itself and figure out what x equals, that's really what it comes down to. So let's say we have x plus 3 equals 9. Well, what do? Subtract 3. X equals 9 minus 3, which is 6. X equals 6. So if you're able to just do this problem, very simple. Maybe just practice, like this is very basic algebra. So if you can just get x by itself, find out what x equals, I think you're money ahead. And like, are you going to be using this on a daily basis in the trades? No, but they just want to be able to see that you're able to do basic algebra math. Find what x equals, because it's problem solving. They want to be able to see, does this person have problem solving abilities? Even though you might suck at math, but there's different areas inside trades that you're not going to be professional at, and you're going to have to learn it, and you're going to have to figure it out. So by just being able to do basic algebra kind of helps with your problem solving abilities. So hopefully you can learn something from this video, and if it ever comes down to you have to take an aptitude test for an apprenticeship or things like that, then you'll be able to know how to do these math equations so you can get moved on to the interview process and get into an apprenticeship and start your career, an awesome career in the trades. So